Hello Liverpool family, welcome to another video, and of course, good win for you guys. I think the second half in specific was the better one for you. I think the first half was quite difficult in terms of the double pivot and how things were operating with Gravenberch, and obviously in there, it wasn't quite there, but in the second half we certainly saw a lot of things that were good. Before I begin, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe and hit the like as well, it'd be greatly appreciated. But let us start here. 3-1, goals from Wirtz, Nyoni and Ngumoha, and I think if you could sort of pick perfect scorers, I don't think you'd be far off picking these three. I think Liverpool fans would have loved to see all three of these guys score. So I think it's genuinely a very, very good list in terms of goal scorers. You know, Wirtz scoring his first proper goal for Liverpool. I know it's not competitive. And Ngumoha, again, scoring a goal, who's been very, very good in pre-season. And Trey and Nyoni, somebody who Liverpool really, really count on and has so much ability. I think he's one of the wild cards to really make it at Liverpool. He was trusted quite a bit last season from Arne Slot. Rio, I think it's now his time to be trusted by Arne Slot. But Liverpool's academy, there's a lot of talk about it, has genuinely got a lot of good talent. You know, I know they got Rio from Chelsea, and a lot of Chelsea fans aren't happy, but genuinely Liverpool have got some really, really good talent in their ranks. And of course, let us firstly look at the goal from Florian Wirtz. Here it is. Let's try and have a look. I thought it was a brilliant goal. Here he is, receives it. Beautiful finish. You can sort of say that's an easy finish, but he's arriving at pace. He has to settle himself, and then he has to find the corners. It was genuinely really nice to see this sort of goal from Florian Wirtz. Here it is again, right into the corner. And yes, the opponent isn't the greatest. Yes, I understand it's only pre-season, but these are the things you need to get, these good habits from players, because ultimately it doesn't matter. You know, if you haven't got that good feeling before the season, it's going to be very difficult for you to perform. It genuinely is. But we're starting to already see Florian Wirtz, you know, his performance for me impressed me. A couple of really nice touches. You know, it's nothing amazing yet, although I know he can go to an amazing level, but it's just the technical security, it's the confidence on the ball, it's the authority in his actions. It's small things like that which make you think, okay, Florian Wirtz here, he has this way of playing which is genuinely going to help Liverpool a lot. It is. You know, it genuinely is. I've already seen small bits, small ways in his receiving in pockets, the strength he's shown carrying the ball, the arriving in the box, things that Liverpool didn't certainly have before. It is there, and we must talk about his relationship with Szoboszlai. Because for me, I genuinely believe that Wirtz and Szoboszlai, and a lot of Liverpool fans agree with me, has been so good lately. You know, I know it's only a couple of games, I know it's pre-season again, but they're building something, you know. And a lot of people were talking about maybe Szoboszlai will have to come out the side for Wirtz to be in the side. But look, these guys can genuinely build a good connection. There was an action where Szoboszlai was chasing back. It looked like the opposition player was getting away from him. He has the pace and the energy to get back in the strength. Small bits like that, you won't get that from many Liverpool players from the midfield. The speed, the strength and the desire to get there. Those are small things that Szoboszlai brings, and Wirtz counters that with his incredible ability in the final third. But let us have a look at another goal that was scored. Trey and Nyoni. Here it is. Beautiful finish. Genuinely a very, very good finish. As we just go back and have a look at it again. Really, really nice to see this. Frimpong, who came on again and was genuinely, he's an outstanding player. And I know he's playing most of his games out wide. But this guy, I think, has got so much ability, so much sort of trickery in the 1v1. And I saw a comparison, and it may not sound great, but I saw it as well. He's kind of like Raheem Sterling in the way they play, in the way they take on their man. It's nothing special, but initial burst, and I'm talking about the best version of Raheem Sterling, not the ones we're seeing at Arsenal. Obviously, that best version of Sterling was unreal. But Frimpong has that ability where he can get a yard and get a ball across. And that is what I'm seeing from the right wing with the way that Frimpong is playing. Very Sterling-like, and that is not a violation by any stretch of the imagination. Because I genuinely believe, out of the players coming on off the bench in most games, Frimpong has been the most impressive. And he's coming on in the Salah position. And a lot of people think, oh, okay, Frimpong is not going to play a lot of minutes at right back, but he's useful. It's not often Liverpool have to defend for minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes. Most of the time, they have most of the possession and they have the opposition penned in. So the attacking threat that Frimpong has is going to be very, very useful for sure. And I'm sure the Liverpool fans are absolutely going to love it and adore it. And that's always a positive thing. You know, if you can give something the Liverpool fans haven't already had in a fullback, because Trent was more on the ball passing, Frimpong is more overlap, cross, 1v1 direct ability, get past your man. That is what Frimpong's all about. And these preseason games kind of shows you the way in which he can impact Liverpool in a very, very good way. And I haven't unfortunately got the Rio Ngumoha goal as we look at this image. Beautiful to see. Rio and Trey really good young players for Liverpool. You know, their academy is really showing what they're all about. And obviously this image here of the whole squad, very, very nice to see. The smiles. Endo as well, obviously. He had a big, massive reception when he was called out. It was just a beautiful tour. I think this is Liverpool's sort of last game out in Asia. I think they go and play Atletico Bilbao at Anfield, and then that's them sort of into the Community Shield, which is crazy, as I don't want to share that goal due to copyright, but we all saw the goal from Rio Ngumoha. Very, very good. He picked it up deep, drove, and the finish was nice. It genuinely was a nice finish, and you know, it was nice to see Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah and how they reacted to the goal. Look at their smiles, their claps. You know, they appreciate the talent. You know, this isn't a guy you can sort of ignore and be like, oh, you know, no, he is a really, really good player and he's going to make really good strides for Liverpool. And there's a lot of talk. Diaz has now left. If I actually go and find that announcement of Diaz at Bayern, you know, I think his time at Liverpool is kind of not being analysed fair. He's a phenomenal player, Diaz. Here he is in the Bayern attire. It is kind of strange to see him in it, man, because all of what he did for Liverpool and the contributions, but he wanted the move. He genuinely wanted the move. The kit suits him, but he's a phenomenal player, and it's not going to be easy to replace him. Gakpo today had an opportunity. The nice times where he would take on his man, get a shot off. We know, typical Cody Gakpo. But in terms of the electricity, ball carrying that Luis Diaz has, Rio probably is the closest profile to that, and he's a youngster. I think that is what's crazy about it, you know. Rio Ngumoha, the way he drives with the ball, the way he attacks it, the way he wants to shoot, very Diaz-like, and he's only 16, you know. There's so much talk about, you know, these youngsters and how young they are and how they're sort of impacting games, but if you're good enough, you're old enough. I maintain that, I believe that, I genuinely believe that. It doesn't matter how young you are. If you have the ability and you're competing on physical level, which Rio certainly is, because one thing I'm always looking for with a young player is, yes, you can compete technically. Yes, you can compete like that. But physically, in the duels, are you able to really get involved and really do your thing? If the answer is no, then you've got to spend more times in the under 21s and the under 16s and the under 18s. But Rio is really put himself about. He has the right frame to compete at this level. And I'm very excited to see how he's used next season. I'm very excited in terms of what Liverpool do with Alexander Isak. Because it was nice as well. Sorry, I completely forgot to talk about him. Kirkes as well had a pretty solid game. But Ekitike, you know, his first game for Liverpool. And a lot of Liverpool fans here laughing, saying he knows the offside rule. There's a couple of nice things about him. Well, of course, rival fans are taking the mick out of him in terms of how he played. But this is his first minutes for Liverpool. It genuinely is. And you could already see the technical quality he has. He wasn't obviously going to perform to those levels. But you can see the movement. You can see the understanding of what's around him. Smart play, you know, that's genuinely nice to see. And it's only a matter of time where he completely gets used to things, where he knows the patterns of play. You're going to have a very, very good youngster. But anyway, Liverpool fans, that's it for now. Hope you've enjoyed. And until next time, peace.